Hello and thanks for joining us on the FCT Call Center on ASO Radio and Television Services. On FCT Call Center is a program we bring to you the activities of the secretariats, the departments and the agencies of the Federal Capital Territory. Today on FCT Call Center, we have from the FCT Fire Service, the Superintendent and the PRO of the FCT Fire Service, Ibrahim Muhammad Tawheed. Thank you very much for coming on the FCT Call Center.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
The FCT Call Center is transmitting live on DSTV channel 3921, on Star Times TV channel 127, and on Free TV you can watch us on channel 507. We're also on ASO Radio 93.5 FM. Stay with us. We'll be back after this time out.
We were warned about this marriage. Because we did not listen, the young maiden is dead.
Nana, come here. Hi. Why do you speak so freely with a stranger from Ajan?
We were just talking about offering Ojigijag a seat on the council.
The gods be praised. Legodo is Elko Sisi. He has 2 wives. So why are you making it look like it is a big deal?
This is the FCT Call Center on ASO Radio and Television Services. Today we'll be speaking with the Superintendent of Fire, as well. He's also the PRO of the FCT Fire Service, Ibrahim Muhammad Tawheed. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on the FCT Call Center. Now tell us what you do at the FCT Fire Service.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the resident of FCT for FCT. And we are very plain. FCT Fire Service, a popular organization in FCT. While people are running out of fire, we are always going inside the fire. Because we are professionals, one of the duties we do is to extinguish, control, and prevent fire outbreaks. It's one of our mandates. And the second one is to rescue people, that is life, as well as to save property. So in FCT, as we are, we've saved a lot of property, and we have, we have branches, that is stations, in every area council in FCT, and then the city center. 14 stations in the city center and 6 area council fire stations. So in which we are really doing fine to meet up with our mandates. Thank you.
Okay. Now you tell us also the achievement of the FCT Fire Service in 2025. In 2024, last year.
Oh, 2024.
So far, how was it?
All right, yeah. It was a very good one because we, despite the challenges of not having a modern firefighting equipment, we made use of the available fire trucks that we have in both area councils and the city center. We were able to save about 8.9 billion worth of property saved in 2024, the year under review.
That's huge.
Yes, and that made a very, I would say, a tremendous achievement because the previous years, we've had so many fire outbreaks, especially because of the climate change. We had this frequent fire outbreaks, but because of more sensitization through the unit we call as fire prevention and protection units, more enforcement from the unit we also call code enforcement units, and more enlightenment from the school safety and other going to markets from the public relations and enlightenment unit. We were able to synergize with most organizations, and we sensitize them about fire safety, in which we still had these fire outbreaks here and there, but we were able to save property up to that 8.9 billion within the year.
Okay, so this year now, what is in stock for residents of the Federal Capital Territory?
Yes, thank you. Last year, we had something that we introduced because we looked at it because we have this response time, and internationally recognized response time is 5 minutes. And we are always working towards meeting up with the time. But something now happened. We started thinking, how do we improve this response time? We now came with a device that when you install in your premises, it's just for you to press the button. Once the button is being pressed, FCT Fire Service is alerted through the control room. So we call this device a fire router, which is linked to the FCT Fire Emergency Monitoring Gateway. We call it FEM Gateway. So what this kind of system upgrade did for FCT Fire Service and the residents of FCT is to improve on the response time and to also make it seamless for whoever that is going to call for fire service help to just dial. To just press the panic button and we will do. So these are the areas of improvement. We've also introduced so many programs that has to do with partnership. Partnership, the first one we normally do, the traditional one we do is going to the area councils to do what we call dry season campaign and some other seasons campaigns. But now we have upgraded to even having partnership with some of these organizations. Some of these area councils will talk to their chairmen and they would say, oh, come and do this, apart from the dry season campaign we've been having in the past. So these are the ways we improve. We now took this campaign to the grassroots, touching each villages. Representative of the wards do come to the Emir's Palace or the King's Palace, or at times we do it in the area council secretariat. And in most cases, they take this knowledge back home and cascade it within their own community. And I believe that has really helped it has dropped the level of fire outbreak within the year under review.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now that you've talked about building, installation of the new equipment in a building, there are so many constructions and development projects going on in the FCT currently as we speak. Now, what role does the FCT Fire Service play in ensuring that buildings and structures in the FCT meet fire safety standards?
Thank you. You see, before now, we have a desk officer in the development control. Any building plan that is going to be approved for either estates, for residents, is always being vetted by FCT Fire Service. So there's a desk officer. But to improve that particular stand, the new controller, Engineer Adebayo Zakios, came with a different way to improve that unit. He now created a unit called Estate and Planning.
Okay.
With this Estate and Planning, the leader of Estate and Planning now also go to Development Control to also join in with the original desk officer that we had there before. They now, because he is a town planner, they now sit down with the town planners in the Development Control and make sure that fire service input is being built into the building plans that are there for approval. So in most cases, most buildings, estates, developers, and some other people know that there must be fire service input before their building plans are approved for construction. So another thing we do is that we don't just sit down and say it has been approved. That is what the Fire Prevention and Protection Unit also do. They will go to these buildings at the initial stage at a particular level to also inspect. There's what we call fire risk assessment. We take a risk assessment of these constructions to make sure that they are actually following what was approved in the building plan. We also know that because of the inadequate manpower, it's not all the buildings we can cover. So some that are actually abusing the standard are doing so because of the inadequate manpower in the service. But what we do is we try our best to make sure we get to their estates and construction and make our inputs being followed. So those are the things we are doing to improve on it, and the residents are really getting the improvement, and they are applauding FCT Fire Service.
Okay, before we come to your advice on the different fire safety measures and how to prevent fires in our homes. Now, there has been concern raised recently about specific fire safety issues in the FCT. We're looking at illegal storage of petroleum products in fire incidents and lack of extinguishers in public buildings. Can you provide an update on what the FCT Fire Service is doing to address this issue?
Oh, thank you. The FCT Fire Service, knowing that people, human beings are very difficult to manage, because like we know, in the behavior-based safety, antecedents is whenever you are building something, at least it has set the stage. Your behavior is to make sure that you take fire safety measure into consideration whenever you are building your estate, or you are building any, you are undertaking your construction. Then the consequences is that after you have done everything possible, safety is not compromised, the consequence is that you will get a good result. Whenever fire wants to happen, something is already there to nip it. So what am I saying? We have done so many things to stop illegal storage of fuel. One, now we thank God the government policy is even good now. There's no much fuel scarcity. When we had this fuel scarcity, there was a problem here and there that whenever fire happens, it must be as a result of hoarding of petroleum products. But right now, we are free from that. And most people, we do tell them, do not put a petrol, a jerry can in your boots filled with petroleum products. At times, it leaks and gets to your exhaust. And from there will be an explosion. Do not, the gas cylinder, do not, if you travel with it to a refilling center from the boot or anywhere, do not put it back to the boot when you're coming back from the refilling center. So what am I saying here? All gas plants stations also have been warned for proper safety standard. So in most cases, we do go to those places and sensitize them. So we have warned them not to, compromise these safety standards. And also, whenever there is a case like that, and the enforcement units get them caught, we prosecute them. We don't show them mercy, because showing them mercy will not serve as deterrent to the society. So we try to make them serve as example to others, so that but we still need to do more. Like I said, we need to do more, because people like this organization, the media, will have to also project us the more. And that is why the call center is really trying their best to see that they sensitize people through us now. And then that is also the effort of FCT Minister, who is also trying his best to make sure that people get to know and get safe at all times. Okay,
now please tell us the fire safety measures we should look out for, and the type of firefighting equipment we should have as individuals and citizens, both at home, in our workplace, in the car.
Thank you so much. Well, you see, the fire safety measure number one is to be safety conscious. Safety is not a gadget, it's a state of mind. If you are safety conscious, you will know that there are things I'm supposed to put in place before I can call my immediate environment safe. So how do you do that? One, I am building a structure. Have I really invited fire service? Because after being passing through the vetting and other things, and then the input has been made, let me also call them to come and see it physically. That is number one. For those who are already living with built environment, built structure, what you do you have fire extinguisher in your home? Do you know the type of fire extinguisher you're supposed to install in your home, in your offices? Number one, we have this DCP, that is dry chemical powder fire extinguisher, that brings out powder. It is very good because we call it multi-purpose fire extinguisher. But is it always good for every part of the environment? No. At times in the kitchen, you don't install that. You install the one that is called CO2, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher or wet chemical. Or you also put fire exo. Fire exo is the new one that is in town now. That is a new fire extinguisher, fire exo. So you install all this by what? In preparation that when it happens, they are handy for you to pick and extinguish. Then there is this smoke detector. Smoke detector, it alerts you even when you are not around. When you are outside the building, probably you are taking fresh air. The smoke detector will make some sound that will alert you to come inside and know that something is really happening inside. Then we now also have what we call heat detector to be stored, to be installed in the kitchen. Once the temperature of the kitchen has developed, has built up to a certain level, the heat detector will start sounding. And once it has started sounding, it will alert you wherever you are. So we also have fire blankets. For you to extinguish a kitchen fire that emanated as a result of oil fire, you quickly put your fire blanket and it will extinguish it. Because before fire can happen, three elements must come together. The fuel that is burning, the oxygen in the air, the heat that has been generated. So those three things, with the aid of the chemical composition, that's chemical reaction, they will turn to fire. And the only thing is to eliminate one of these elements out of this. For them not to come together, you have to remove one. How do you remove one? By the time you put the cover of your pot into a burning pot, you put it, you have eliminated oxygen. By the time you apply water to a burning surface, you have cooled the surface, no, not that particular one. If it is using it on a oil fire, then it will escalate. But ordinary fire, that is class A fire, by the time you apply water, you are cooling it and you have removed the heat. So by removing the fuel, you are starving the fire. So these are the things we do together. Then another measure is do not put your gas cylinder in the kitchen. Gas cylinder is always outside the kitchen. Do not, be careless your matches or any other heating apparatus, especially for your children. Do not allow underage to enter your kitchen. Once you know that they are of age for you to teach them on how to cook, then you must have a good supervision by being there with them. Another thing is that for those of us that are commuting from home to the office, please always make sure your car has a fire extinguisher. Always make sure that when you get to the mechanic to do anything, cross-check, check again to see whether there's a loose wire that is being left untied, so that you will quickly call the attention of the experts to do that, so that there won't be any problem. There are cases of fire outbreak after leaving a mechanic site. So those are the things we want to really. Candlelight I think, is no longer in vogue. But another thing is that replace that one is leaving all the appliances on while you are not using them. So these are also things you switch off, especially in public buildings. Then another thing is public building. Mostly they don't care about when the extinguishers are serviced. Most of them that we have encountered, They don't care. So what we do is we remind them. We remind them, but the extinguishers are to be serviced every six months. So once the extinguisher is due, the maintenance officer, the security officer, it depends on where they designate, the safety department, they say, okay, please, it's due, come and service our extinguisher. Then train your men on how to make use of this. Because there are cases where people carry extinguisher and throw it into the fire. So that will not just happen. So what you do is train them on how to make use of this fire extinguisher, and then for the organization, please get certified. If you're certified, insurance will also cover you if there's anything that happens. You will be covered. And that is what we do. And that is what I think we should remind ourselves on a daily basis. Please call fire service for evacuation drill. Call fire service for fire safety training. Right now, or sometime last week and 2 weeks ago, Abuja Continental did evacuation drill. We trained their men. The other week, Jubilee brought in Idu. Then today, as we speak now, DSS, they're having training. So what are we saying? Let people call us and get trained, so that that little money you will spend will save a lot of wealth. That if fire outbreak happens, it will consume.
Yeah. It was as a result of your training here in ASO Radio that most people knew what even a muster point is.
Oh,
sometimes when you go to building, you see muster point. People don't even know what that point is. It was as a result of that training that, some said, so it's a place if there's a fire incident, you bring people together, you gather them. It's a safe area to keep people during fire incidents. Now, there has been allegation of attacks on your men during firefighting services. Now, what is the ideal response time from the FCT Fire Service?
Thank you very much. Actually, some of this attack came about because of the response time. Response time is 5 minutes, and that is internationally recognized. And we are always making sure that we meet up with the time. But please, there are mitigating factors. Number one is the proximity of the fire station to the fire scene. If there's a fire in 7 kilometers away, and the nearest fire station is 7 kilometers away, how will you do? You will still have to go.
Yes.
So in that 5 minutes, will it be achieved? That's number one. Number two is, what about the road network? The traffic jam. People that are blocking you, they are not given the right of way. So when you are not given the right of way, how do you expect us to get there on time? Actually, we have right to even go one way to face the opposing traffic and get to the fire scene on time. People will understand. And let me also tell you, anybody that does not give us right of way, if we would try by all means to drive professionally to the scene of the fire, but if there's any reason why we have to hit a car, that car is on its own. We have the right to get to the fire scene. Whatever way we are going to get there, we have the right. So don't sue us. We are the one to even sue you for blocking
the road.
Yes. So that one is that. We just want people to understand that. Then the third mitigating factor is when you give us a call. There are people that want to salvage the situation themselves. When fire happens, it happens small, except an explosion. So at the incipient stage, call the fire service. You try your means, you try by all means to extinguish the fire, but when it is above you, please call the fire service and on time. When you call the fire service on time, they will come there. Now, we are not magicians. We don't even know that fire is happening anywhere. All of a sudden, maybe a passerby saw the fire and then called the fire service. Then when we now come, say, now you they come, come late. Who called us in the first time? So these are the things we want people to understand. But right now, we have a working minister in the person of Barrister Yeson Wike. We know very well that we are working on the plans to make these people also, we will have to bring them to justice. They can't just move. The challenges we are having, we know, I've told you before, is that our vehicles are old trucks. Only few, in fact, only one, I would say, is a modern truck. Others are old trucks. You can see that our men are using all their energy, and the leaders, that is the leadership of FCT Fire Service, are using all their brain to manage these vehicles, despite the fact that they are supposed to have been auctioned out or been,
they are obsolete.
Obsolete. They are obsolete. Honestly, there were trucks that we are making use of now that are 20 years outdated. And now we are still making use of it. And that is why, at times, most of these trucks, when they get to the fire station, fire scene, and extinguish fire, they may not even come back. We have to make some repairs. Each time they go out, we make some repair. Each time that, in fact, let me tell you one. The fire truck was down for more than 4 weeks. There was no fund to even put it back to shape. But the leadership will not be at peace. What they do is they will run Etaskator to get fund and then get it repaired. The day they repaired that fire truck, there was a fire outbreak. And you know the people that called for the fire outbreak? Youths in their 20s. They came to the fire station, there was a fire. This happened in Kuje. And the moment the fire truck turned out, we extinguished that fire under 5 minutes. People started clapping and applauding us. But what is it? Look at this, just imagine. We told those youths that, sorry, the fire truck is not serviceable. It's not good. What will have happened? They will know, they will even... Yes. So that is what we expect.
Attack, yes.
And they will attack us. So why are we working? That's what they will ask. So we also solicit for, apart from the government, private organizations to also come to our aid. We have seen where they help other sister organizations with trucks, with utility vehicles. They should also help us. Give us some of these things to aid our job, and we'll deliver very well, fantastically than this. Thank you very much.
Okay. And finally, before we go, residents of the FCT are aware of your emergency contact number, because the last time we had, you gave a very long number, very difficult to memorize.
That's good.
So what are you doing to
get a very simple
number that one can just sit down and call?
Thank you so much. You see, the new system I said we introduced, fire router with the fire gateway, emergency gateway. It came with a different number.
Okay.
And this number is so simple to memorize.
Is it connected to the 112 emergency toll-free?
The 112 emergency and the toll-free is the national emergency number. Okay. That national emergency number works for every organization. So, but in order to specifically single out that to fire service, aside that we have a long number that you said before, that is also being distributed to the public, we have another one again that is so seamless to memorize. Okay. So let me give the first one that you say is also difficult. Then I will now give the second one that is seamless.
Okay.
Number one is that 0209 290 6118. I want to repeat that. Okay. 0209 290 6118.
Okay. That's the long one.
That is the long one. Now, this particular one we have now, in fact, even if you are sleeping, you can just borrow somebody's phone and say, even if you are on the way, you can borrow somebody's phone. Please, let me dial fire service. I saw a car that is on fire. Somebody, and I'm not out with my phone. You can dial that one easily. And it comes like this. 08 0000. That's 4 zeros. FCTFS.
Okay.
FCTFS there means FCT, Fire Service, FS. So meaning F, just dial the F.
On your phone.
T, F, S, and you get 32837.
Okay.
That is what you get.
0840,
that is quadruple 0.
Yes.
32837. So instead of memorizing 32837,
FCTFS.
Haven't we done well?
I think
we need
I think this is easier and very, very easy to memorize.
So what we're just praying is that people should embrace this fire altar thing. They should see now that look at the system. People thought of it that this is a way out. Let them embrace it. So we now want people to please call us and install these things in their houses. It's not for free anyway, but it's a token. And that is why we're encouraging them to do so.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's the size of our package today on the FCT Call Center. Thank you very much, Superintendent of Fire Ibrahim Muhammad Tawheed. Thank you for coming on the FCT Call Center on ASO Radio and Television.
Thank you for having me.
Let's do this again same time next week when we'll be hosting another secretariat or department or agency of the FCT administration. I am Holina Adojo. Thank you very much for staying with us.